our lineup today. Look, we know how addicting video games can be, but now there's a new lawsuit accusing Fortnite of being as addictive as cocaine. So we're taking a look at just how realistic those concerns are. And it can be stressful knowing if a pet will get along with a new baby in your home, but there are now people whose job it is to make sure that process goes smoothly. We'll be looking into that. And many of us don't have the money saved for an unexpected expense, like maybe a car repair, a medical emergency. We're checking out a new tool that can help make getting ready for those situations easier.
Thanks, Chris. I'm Amanda Starantino, and this is the Now Indy on RTV6. Mobile sports betting is open in Indiana, and we're seeing big numbers from Hoosiers placing their bets. In fact, DraftKings paid out more than $300,000 to Hoosiers betting on the Colts to beat the Chiefs Sunday night. DraftKings is one of two available options for mobile sports betting. The site boosted the odds for the Colts winning from 4-1 to 10-1, meaning a $1 bet would get you a $5 payoff. In-person sports bets started on September 1st, and mobile betting opened up Thursday. A DraftKings representative said opening up the legal market allows for safer, more responsible betting.
We're not looking for people to lose all their savings, right? What we're looking for is that they come in and they have a great time. This is for the guy who wants to bet, $5 on the game and watch it with a little bit more interest, have a little skin in the game.
Indiana is just the third state to allow for mobile sports betting after New Jersey and West Virginia. Most children love Halloween with all of the candy and spooky outfits, and for those kids in the hospital who can't go trick-or-treating, Halloween came to them today. The Children's Museum of Indianapolis brought their Hotel of Spells to the kiddos at Riley Hospital for Children. Witches with broomsticks and goblins visited Riley patients and their families. There were also treats galore. Also, the Children's Museum brought a special Hotel of Spells tour that played in patients' rooms so they could have fun bedside too.
A lights-on visit.
Yes, yes.
Whenever I go to the haunted house, I look for the lights-on hours. It is bright out. That's lots of sunshine. You're looking, as you can see with our Weather Now camera, we're searching for clouds. Let me know if you find one. 72 in Indy, temperature in Kokomo up in Howard County the same. Pretty uniform temperatures. The wind is light. The humidity is low. This is prime fall weather. No real change in this until we get to probably Friday, and that's when our chance for a shower or thunderstorm will increase. This almost doesn't look like a live camera shot, but this is looking from the Motor Speedway to downtown Indy. We'll begin to see a few more clouds in the canopy there over the next few days, certainly next week. 54. That will be at 10 o'clock tonight. Sky will be not just clear, but crystal clear with that low humidity. Temperatures in the morning waiting on you in the 40s, 47 in Indianapolis.
Let's start the Now News feed. The White House blocking the U.S. ambassador to the European Union from testifying this morning. Gordon Sondland's a key witness in the Democrats' impeachment probe of the president. Reports say that he worked with the State Department to set up conversations between the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, and Ukrainian leaders. Today, the Supreme Court started hearing arguments on a major case over LGBTQ rights. The case will determine if workplace anti-discrimination laws cover gay and transgender employees. Rulings on this due by the end of June. Customs and Border Protection apprehending fewer people at the southern border. The acting commissioner saying today that they took in 52,000 migrants at the border last month, which is down about 65% from May. Well, as more stores drop e-cigarettes, another vaping alternative is gaining popularity. Altria has been selling this device since 2014 in other countries, but sales just started here in the United States. It's called IQOS. Now, it's not really a vaping device. You take a cigarette, you insert it into this device, and it warms it up. Now, according to the company, the device heats a very small amount of tobacco. It's just enough to release vapor with the flavor. But it's so low dose that where it doesn't actually burn the tobacco, the burning is what usually releases high levels of harmful chemicals as well as ash and smoke. Altria says the warming of tobacco significantly reduces the amount of chemicals released. The FDA just approved IQOS earlier this year. It isn't widely available here in this country yet, but the company does plan to start selling it at convenience stores like Circle K and Speedway. Now, tests from the FDA show the device does contain fewer toxic chemicals than cigarette smoke. The FDA also said IQOS may actually help users transition away from cigarettes. Right now, the FDA does still consider it the same as a regular cigarette, so it'll be regulated similarly. A congressman from Illinois proposing a bill to limit just how much nicotine is in e-cigarettes. The ENDS Act would limit it to just 20 milligrams of tobacco per milliliter. Now, that's equivalent to about a third of the nicotine used in Juul pods. Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy says that capping the amount of nicotine is essential when it comes to ending the vaping epidemic among young people. All right, more ahead in our lineup is Fortnite, one of the most popular video games that are out there right now. Question is it as addictive and potentially harmful as cocaine? There are parents arguing that in a new lawsuit. We're going to get some answers on just how realistic these concerns are.
Keller and Keller.
Two parents are suing the maker of the video game Fortnite, claiming that video game is just as addictive as cocaine. Corey Ringel with a look at the game's impact on children.
It is one of the most popular video games on the market. 8-year-old Raylan Brassard and her friends are hooked on Fortnite.
People always brag about Fortnite. Like when they always win, they always come to school and just brag about it.
Her mother, Natalie, says it can be a challenge to get her daughter to stop playing.
There's like this switch that goes off. And if she's like not allowed to do something, it's just like and she's a completely different person. And you gotta pull her back to reality.
15-year-old Gavin Probst says he plays Fortnite nearly every day and admits he can spend a little too much time in front of the screen.
Real easy to lose time. I've personally gone overboard many times.
His mother, Christine, also notices a change in her son when he starts playing the game.
You can just sort of tell that their attitude gets a little bit more short. They can be a little bit more just cranky.
Two parents in Canada became so alarmed at their children's behavior, they sued the maker of Fortnite, Epic Games, claiming the company used psychologists to develop the most addictive game possible.
They're creative people, and whether psychologists are involved or not, what they're trying to do is make the game as engaging as possible. So they want you to play it. I mean, they wouldn't make money if they weren't.
Dr. Russell Schilling is with the American Psychological Association. He has worked with game developers but was not involved with Fortnite. He feels there's not enough research to prove video games are addictive, even though the World Health Organization made video game addiction an official mental health disorder.
Many things can become addictive, and there are many factors for why that might happen, but there may not be anything specifically about games that's unique. We just don't know at this point.
As for the lawsuit, Epic Games will not comment on pending litigation, but Fortnite has nearly 250 million users worldwide. In Washington, D.C., I'm Corey Ringel reporting.
Corey, thank you. Let's take another look at our lineup today here on The Now. It can be stressful knowing if a pet will get along with a new baby in the home, but there are actually now people whose job it is to make sure that process goes smoothly.
On us for just $239 a month.
Let's turn to the Now news feed. Southwest pilots are upset with Boeing over the 737 MAX. The pilots union now suing the airplane maker, saying that the company misled them by not telling them about the flight control system that potentially led to those two deadly crashes. The MAX has been grounded since March. Rent the Runway back in business. Company rents dresses to people online, and it recently stopped taking on new customers because customers were upset over delays and some orders being canceled. Well, you can call this a comeback, as Target partnering with the company now in charge of Toys R Us. The companies will be relaunching ToysRUs.com, which is expected to be a big boost for Target heading into the holiday season. Well, if you've ever visited a maternity ward or had a baby, you're familiar with the soft cotton blankets that are for swaddling babies. Now, the iconic receiving blankets, they're almost like a uniform at this point, but what you may not know is something that Usher Qureshi discovered, that they all originate in one place.
There we go. Yes, she is content as long as she's fed and clean and nice and warm.
For newborn baby girl Lauren Marie Berry,
she's been great.
There's nothing like being wrapped tightly in a cozy blanket.
You know, we have a 2-year-old and she has the exact same blanket at home.
And so do millions of other babies. The pink and blue striped hospital wrap known as the Cuddle Up blanket is ubiquitous and has been produced by the same company since the 1960s.
You know, it was just one of those things that they were like, you know, make sure that it's very simple and gender neutral, and a stripe was the easiest, most simple way to do that.
Have the colors changed at all?
They have not.
Same colors.
Same colors. Same spacing between the stripes. We have specs that outline that exact design, so they fundamentally have not changed.
Medline Industries sells nearly 2 million cuddle-up blankets a year and estimates that 1 in 4 babies is swaddled in it.
Apparel to flat goods.
Terry Burke is the company's director of patient apparel.
We have several infant blankets, but this is by far the most popular and the most iconic.
We've settled on 2 names, Stella or Sloan.
For the Berries, the iconic blanket is a familiar reminder that they've been here before.
Yeah, there absolutely has to be some psychological type of comfort when you see the children wrapped in that same blanket.
And while the 30 by 40-inch blanket is perfect for swaddling newborns,
Do you make them in adult sizes?
Some pajamas, maybe.
it isn't available for big babies just yet. Reporting from Northfield, Illinois, I'm Usher Qureshi.
Utility companies are starting to install smart meters, so you no longer need a visit from a meter reader. But our Scripps team is learning that some of those installs are causing problems. Working for you, John Mattery shows what can sometimes go wrong so you don't waste your money.
Many homeowners are getting high-tech new gas, electric, and water meters these days. But what if you discover a problem you never had before right after that new meter is installed? Well, one woman wanted to know who's responsible. Erica Diaz has no hot water.
It's cold.
She says it happened when a contractor replacing old analog meters on her street shut off her natural gas. When they turned it back on, her water heater wouldn't light.
It would light and it would go back out immediately.
So she says she called the contractor and her utility and got nowhere. 5 days with no hot water?
No hot water.
Erica says the problem is that nobody wanted to take responsibility. And they told her that, well, maybe you have a bad hot water heater.
I said there was absolutely no problem with my water heater before you guys came in.
Finally, she called a local plumbing company, which diagnosed the problem, a burned-out safety switch.
It's down there, that valve.
The plumbing experts suspected the valve failed when the gas went back on.
When they turned the gas on, it just it was too much and it caused that thing to disengage.
So don't let this happen to you. If you suspect utility work has caused a problem, contact your utility immediately. Also, call the contractor if you know their name. Most will try to help, and this mom is grateful she'll soon have hot water.
I have a child with special needs. We need to take showers.
Bottom line, if you have an issue after utility work, try to find the name of the company that did the job, then contact their offices immediately so you don't waste your money. I'm John Mattery for RTV6.
And exact studio time 5:48, 22. As soon as I try to be exact, I'm off by hours. Don't worry, I will make this weathercast right here seem like 3 hours. Well, I'll get you to 8. 72, that's our current temperature. Humidity low, wind light out of the east-northeast, and there's your sunset time at 7:17. Should be a good looking sunset. We're dry the next 2 days. On Friday, a strong cold front will sit to our west. The strength, we call it strong because big temperature gradient from one side to the other. Almost 80 on the mild side. We'll be in the 50s on Saturday. Mid-50s. I think northern Indiana will struggle to hit 50 degrees. This evening, it's all about comfort. Temperatures by 9 o'clock, 60 degrees. We'll be in the middle to upper 50s at 11. Again, with that light wind, I think temperatures will fall off quickly into the 40s overnight. We'll make our recovery from the upper 40s to noon tomorrow, 65. Afternoon temperatures, 73 just north of Indy. I think central Indiana and southern portions of the state will see temperatures at least at 75 for the afternoon high. We're going to push the coolest air out of the state and the Midwest over the next couple of days. Our wind will strengthen out of the southeast tomorrow and then out of the south on Friday. That will really start to boost the temperatures into the upper 70s and add a little moisture in there before that cold front arrives. Thursday, temperatures noticeably warmer in the morning. These are mid to high level clouds around. Temperatures warm to 79 for the afternoon high. Despite the arrival of cloud cover, we're going to stay dry. Here's your 4-day forecast, and you see what happens. What goes up does come down. Temperatures rise into the upper 70s. That chance for thunderstorms Friday may impact Friday night football. Definitely, you'll be wearing a sweater or long pants probably Saturday, as temperatures will be at 56. And any rain chance really confined to the first part of the day, early in the morning Saturday.
Now, whether you're an expectant parent or a grandparent, there is one thing that you might not think about before the baby arrives, and that is preparing your dog for the new arrival. That's where a dog doula can help. Annie Taylor's taking a look at what that is and how you can help your pet without an expert.
Do you want to turn the page? There you go.
What should be a happy time to bring a new baby into the family was a bit stressful.
So I was definitely a little nervous.
Nervous for her baby and dog to meet and live under the same roof.
Dogs are part of the family, so when you're growing your family, you don't think about getting rid of family members, and you're hoping everyone's going to get along.
And Larissa Trumper says her dog, Ruby, has always been a good dog.
If at home the dog is really great and he would never ever do anything to the child, which is not realistic to assume because every dog can bite depending on the situation.
That's Tanya Lim. She calls herself a doggy doula.
As a doggy doula, I provide dog training and support for expecting families.
Let's pet the woof woof. Tanya tells her clients to observe how their dog behaves around the baby. If it yawns, looks away, licks its lips, ears go up, or has tension in the face, those are all signs of aggression or anxiety.
Should we give her a belly rub?
A lot of times when there is a bite, people would say that the bite came out of nowhere. However, if you observe footage of the dog, you will see that the dog was giving warning signs.
To avoid a scary situation, Tanya says to set up baby gates around the house, never leave the baby and dog alone, place dog crates in another room, and never yell at the dog when you see aggressive behavior.
I realized how many things we were doing wrong.
After a few easy adjustments given by Tanya, Larissa noticed a big difference in behavior from Ruby, but understands she will have to help her daughter Hazel act safely around Ruby.
Now, Annie, how much does something like this actually cost?
Well, the average dog training lesson costs around $120 if you do it like privately. But the doggy doula training is $285 for 3 sessions. And if you're wondering, like, I want a doggy doula on hand. Well, in your community, you might not always have one, but Tanya does say that you can ask any dog trainer out there and say that we're expecting a baby, and they should be able to help you with your dog and your baby and integrate them under the same roof.
Yeah, it's something very important, obviously, a lot of people might not think about.
Yeah.
All right, Annie, thanks. Now, when it comes to leaving a job, mental health is a huge reason why. New study says 50% of millennials have quit due to issues like depression. Now, when it comes to Generation Z, that number jumps up to 75%. Now, some of the causes of that depression, not making enough to afford expenses and burnout. Overall, about 20% of people leave their jobs due to stress. All right, let's start the Now News feed. Starting next year, people will not need a prescription to get HIV prevention drugs in California. Now, the governor signed that into law this week. California will be the first state to do this. Concerns over a Chinese company making baby pajamas for Costco. Now, the Trump administration blocking the company accused of forcing ethnic minorities to sew clothes against their will in an internment camp. Now, Costco told the AP that it thinks that the clothes sold in its stores were made at a different location. While dogs can help you live longer, researchers say that they found that those who have dogs were less likely to die from issues like heart disease, and they also found that dogs helped people who lived alone the most. Finally, in our lineup, many of us don't have the money saved for an unexpected expense, but we're checking out a new tool that can make getting ready for these situations easier. You're watching The Now.